Hello, hello, and welcome back. I'm Claire. This is Purple Poppy. And in case you didn't see yesterday's video where I did this, it's come from a Somerset Studio project where this lady, Deborah Helms, has made this like corrugated card accordion type journal. So that's what we're inspired by. That's what we're playing with. And I did say yesterday, it's probably going to be like a mini series of sort of 3 videos. We made the flower and we backed this page. Now, since you left, I've added in a bit of lace under there and a piece of stained cheesecloth under there. And I'm just putting some of these little, what I call riser blocks, dimensional pads, just to hold this where we want it to be. So pick that top layer off, give it a little bit of glue, whoops, and then just pop it on there. And I'm going to put one under that end as well. And then that, apart from a closure, sticking to my fingers, apart from a closure, that is the front finished. And I'll show you, I have, oh, don't stick it there, Claire, stick it there. Oh, now I can't get the top layer off, of course. Why is that such a problem? You've got shadows, haven't you? Because I've got my lamp on. I wonder if I should turn my lamp off. Well, it's pretty dark here. There we go. And that just gives it a little bit of dimension. And I have been in and I put some book page on that side, and I put some stamped fabric, some eco dyed fabric, and some lace onto that page. These two are completely bare, and then this is that layers and layers of napkin backs that I've glued on there. I've put another bit of the eco there, and this is a receipt, 1902, but I've just stuck that edge in case I want stuff tucked underneath it. So let's get on and do some more pages. Now, I want dimensional stuff now, and I have brought along, I showed you before, I've got a, yeah, I'm going to turn the light, oh, that goes very dark, doesn't it? Let's turn it on, sorry, and turn it down a little bit. There you go, that should be better. Sorry about that, didn't mean to give anyone a headache. I've got a cabinet card. I've got these etc. pieces. I thought that might be a good idea. We pull this, this one out. There you go. We've got circle, heart, and like a house. I think I'm actually going to go for the house one. So pull that out, get rid of them. I've also got some windows, both actual Tim Holtz ones and ones that I've cut of my own, and then it's fabric and patterns, although I have got this lovely giant mother of pearl buckle. So let's have a look. I'm going to ignore that for the moment. I want to work on this page here. These do snap out. There you go. And I feel like I want that sort of there, something underneath it. So I need to decide, you know, what we are magnifying with this image. Now, got this vintage page here. Are we doing that? Or are we doing this tablecloth? Or I've also got these pages here. These are actually in my Ko-fi as a freebie. That's quite nice, isn't it? Too big. that one might sort of work, but I'm just not sure about the orange on this page. So what about that one with the butterfly? Ah, now that works, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this. Now if you haven't got something like this, you can always cut this out of a piece of brown craft paper. Really simple, no problem at all. And then I'm going to line it up to where I want it, which is about there. And I'm just going to set that aside to dry for a moment or two. And then we can use this house further down the line. And I've also got these windows, as I said. Now these are ones that I've cut from, as you can see, old book page, and these are the real Tim Holtz ones. That's a complete one. This is one that's been cut in half. Now I'm thinking, if I take this book page and cover that, so we're going to cover this as well. And of course this is how we get to make all of these things unique to ourselves. And I'm going to pop that. I know I probably dragged it off screen. I'm going to pop that down on there. We're going to give that a minute to dry as well. And then I've also got, this is a digi kit, and I'm sorry but I can't remember where this comes from. But I'm just going to come down there where we've got this bit of flower, and I feel like I'm going to tear it around the picture, you know, the plant that's in the picture. So I don't want to cover up that, so maybe that is the one that goes on that page. So then maybe we just want this smaller corner one for this page, but of course that's going to cover up my fabric. So you do, you know, need to have a little bit of a think about where you're going to place things. There you go. Now that'll go there and the fabric comes out underneath. So we're going to glue this down. I always think it's fun to take, you know, somebody else's idea and put your own spin on it. You obviously don't want to copy, but to add your own spin. And I quite like bringing it in a little bit there so that the lace is still showing underneath. Okay, that's that one. Right, I'm going to save my lady and my buckle for another page. This one I feel is probably going to go on here because it does connect these two then. So all I'm going to do is glue down the one edge like I did with the receipt, and then I can come back and tuck stuff under that when I'm ready. So all the way down there, and then just pull him off at the bottom or near the bottom. Okay, Right, let's move that. Let's bring up our mat and a knife, and let's get our house. So just putting my knife, because I've got depth. Obviously if you were just using craft card, you'd want to probably cut it with scissors, because you wouldn't have that depth to rest your knife on. And there you go, that's out of there. Just need to trim in a little bit, because we don't want that hanging out the side. Just by angling my knife in. There we go. And now we decide whether this is what goes onto this page here, or whether it's going to be our window. So because obviously this is much thinner, I'm going to use a blade, a ruler with my blade this time. Oops. That's what happens when you put your blade too close. Okay. So got rid of all of those bits and pieces, and then I'm just gonna run my knife around the inside and get rid of those bits of paper that we don't require. And we've instantly framed this the way we want it to look. With our book page. Pull them out, and now it's covered in book page. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to run my inky brush over it. And I mean, as much as I used the images on the back here as a guide to make my windows, you know, I mean, we all look at windows every day of the week. You can easily come up with a pattern that would work. So do I like that one, or do I want to put that one? And do you know what? I feel like I want to put this one. So I'm just going to make sure I've got those rough edges on it. And then I'm going to stick that down. I just love it. And I do usually put a face in the window, but I'm thinking on this occasion I'd quite like not to. So I'm going to glue this. And obviously what I've done here is I've cut away the back part of this Tim Holtz frame. When you do that, obviously you end up with double, because they're quite thick. By cutting them in half, each window becomes two. You get twice as many. Now I like that page. I'm going to call that page done. So I don't think I want to go to another pre-started one. I think I want to be completely fresh on this one. I'm going to fold that in there. Because that's the other thing with this. Although I've done it as a concertina, you could actually wrap it. It's entirely up to you, obviously. It's your project. So we're going to work on this page. And I want some more fabric. I feel like I'd like some of this gold. I think that's really nice. Now, as you can see, I'm absolutely rubbish at cutting straight lines. But then if you've been here before, you'll know that. That's not too bad, actually, Claire. That is not too shabby at all. So I'm going to snip that off. And that, I think we'll have to the bottom or to the top. I don't think it really matters at the moment. I like this piece of lace. So I'm thinking we can have this piece of lace coming over like this, but then what if we bring this in and we could put the picture, no, I'm not liking that. What else have I got here? I've got this brown bit. Now, what if we had that on there, and then we had that across the top, because we've got this, I've got another frame there, but we've got this fold down. That was one of the things she had, wasn't it? So, see, I'm just thinking about what I want where. I think that's going to go on that back page. So we'll pretend we don't have that. And this could be the one that we frame here. Right. So, what I'm going to do is, where's those scissors gone? Get myself a straight-ish line to come across this bottom like that. And I quite like that curve. I think it adds for interest. But what I'm going to do is take the pinking shears right across that angle and then down that angle, because that to me looks a little bit like a roof. Okay, and then because we're echoing the roof, I think this one is going to go on here. Okay, but then I think I'm going to have that behind it. So let's cut that bit away. Let's pop that on there. Let's pop that on there. And then we want something underneath that top. And I feel like, oh, maybe a piece of this. I don't want to cover all of the corrugated up, so perhaps we'll save some of the corrugated on that side. do like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this gold bit down, because I'm 100% sure that that's in exactly the right place. Glue that up there like that, and then I'm going to put the brown bit on, because I'm pretty convinced about that as well. And yes, I'm using glue stick because I find glue stick works great on fabric. You do sort of get sticky fingers, but it works great on fabric. Okay, now I'm not going to stick this down yet, because as much as I'm sure I want that there, I'm not sure if I want something else behind it. If maybe we need some book page. So if I tear that, and that, yeah, I do like that, but I don't like it covering the whole of the page. Maybe that's better. Yeah, I do quite like that, but I feel like we need something up there. I'm not quite sure what it is. Now, I did earlier do some stamping, and we have got red in this flower and like sort of a black in that butterfly. So I'm wondering if this is what I need up the top. Oh, I do like it, but we're losing our rooftop there. So I'm wondering if we go that side. I'm just trying to, you know, have a little think for a minute. Or if we get an angle. Or do we not want to use the one that we've covered? Do we actually want to take these three away? And is this where we put a buckle? So is that gonna feed through there? It really needs to go that way, doesn't it? Let's have a little look. Right, so we could space that right out, because it's sort of folded double at the moment, and I'm not convinced that I'm not hanging off the camera. Oh, now that works well as well, doesn't it? So what happened to the house that we pulled out the middle of here? No, no, no. Oh, it's over this side. Here we go. Does that come under there? Oh, oh, we like that, don't we? And now my numbers could come across the bottom That's much nicer. See, and this is why sometimes you really have to play with it. So where's my scissors gone? Don't know where the real scissors are. I'm going to chop it off like that. Okay, and that is going to glue on there. So we need the trusty, don't argue with me, Uhu glue. We are going to put some of that across there. Give it a little minute to go a bit sticky. And then we're going to stick that on there like that. Whoops. Stick. Okay. And then we're going to glue this like that. Ah! No, 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 no. No, no, no. You're going to go there. I dropped it, didn't I? And that is going to stick on there. I need to leave it to position itself. I do like this number on here, but what I'm not sure is whether I want it just on the brown. Yeah, I want it just on the brown. So I'm going to pop that on there like that. That's sticking on there quite nicely. And this is why I wanted you to leave a wide space, because it is going to get chunky. Okay. While that's having a chance to glue, I'm going to take this and I'm going to get it covered in various book pages. So I'm going to put some of that over there like that. Turn it over. I'm going to stick this bit down so I don't need to worry about covering that piece. Okay. But also we do need to remember that we need this bit to be the right way round, because it's going to come down like that, yeah? So I'm going to do that bit as well. And oh, it's absolutely hammering down here. It's been raining all day. Okay. Then I'm going to have a little bit of this digi kit. Now, I quite like that idea. So I'm going to glue all of that piece. Okay, I know, I'm sorry, I know I'm probably going on and off screen, I do apologise. It's because I've blown it up so that you can see a little bit better, but obviously then it does mean that sometimes we come off So I think we'll have a bit of that. Nope, this side. Like that. Okay. And then we've got this bit here, I think, is where we're going to put some lace. So let's have a look. Shall we use a piece of this napkin paper first? So let's glue along there. And there. Let's cut this off. Okay, and then, oh, this one's nice. This one will work nice on there. Look. I'll have a piece of that across there. So just cut a bit off. It's too long, but that's okay. And we're going to put that in there. So that's that bottom half done. So then this top half, I do like this lace, but this one hasn't been coffee dyed. Does that matter? Yeah, I think it's too white. We want something a bit creamy. Oh, we've got a little bit of broad elm glaze there. That's creamy. That'll work nicely. So I'm gonna pop that in. But we're gonna pop it in. What way are we popping it in, Claire? Come on, work this out, woman. We're popping it in like that. There you go. So that is that bit basically done. Now I was going to put my cabinet card in here because there's nothing on the back of this one, so it sort of makes sense to have this one stuck down. But again, I think I want to use my Yoo-hoo for this. So pop this there like that, and then we need to cover this top bit. Right, what have we got here? This is a beautiful bit of lace. Beautiful, beautiful bit of lace. Because then if that goes there like that, when that flaps down, we've got this lace hanging there. So it does make sense to have that great long piece of lace hanging down there. I'm going to overlap it slightly so that I can trim it off once I've stuck it down. Okay, so you see that now is going to sit there. Okay. Trim that. With the pinking shears, so it's, you know, a little bit more interesting, as they say. And then just take a little bit off that edge, like that. And then that's gonna close down like that. So that's good. I like that. And now I need to cover this piece and this piece. So I think we might use some of the floral paper for this. Oops. And then we just need to work out if that's going to work. Right, so if I put that, say there, or even over a little bit more, that's going to come down there. We can put book page behind there. It always looks good when there's a bit of book page behind it. So we glue that. And I'm going to stick that down there like that. We are going to trim this off. Like so. And then trim that there. Okay. And then we can put that in there like that. And then that's our line there. So that now sits right over to the left, and at the bottom we've got that piece of lace on top, and that's going to come down there like that. That works for me. Okay. So I've got that on there. Okay. That's coming down. So now I need to decide what goes on there, because all of the inside is done. A little bit of glue under there. Okay. That comes over, and now something on there. And oh, I've got gluey, got sticky mat. Let's get rid of the sticky mat. And let's decide what goes on here. Do we use, let's put the lace away. Do we use, that's an envelope, some more of this. I quite like that because it's another layer. So what I'm going to do is use my liquid glue and right, so we're going to put a bit of book page there because I noticed that the napkin tissue wasn't really big enough. Come on. Oops. And then we'll turn this round. It goes that way, doesn't it, Claire? I'm going to pop that on there like that. Okay. We're going to work out where we need to tear this off. So that'll do. That's near enough. That's okay. And that's going to go there like that. And then we need something on the top. Now I'm going to have another piece of lace. Or is that overkilling the lace, do we think? Might be nice to have this half doily on there. So let's trim up this lace. And we'll get that stuck on there, and we can still get another embellishment on the top there. So let's glue that. There. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I'm just not sure what goes there. So I suppose this is where we look in our ephemera pack and see what we've got. And I'm almost instantly drawn to that. What else? Maybe that one. Okay, let's have that one. Oh, this, I believe, is a sample. Whenever I have the ephemera things, I always just chop them up, put them in a bag, or that envelope thing, and away we go. Okay, so we've now got our Liberty lace bit. I love it. So let's bring our book back. This is now stuck, as you can see. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of glue under that edge. So I'm going to hold it up and just put a little bit under there and let it fall back down. Okay, that's that. But on this one, is where we want this to go. I think that's absolutely fabulous. However, that does mean it's on the back page, and I think it will be a little bit more protected if we put it on the inside. And you know what? If we only glue the top and the bottom, that'll act as a belly band. So we'll glue that. Oh, it's the only trouble with this glue. It does require a bit of setting time. So then that's going to flip up. This is going to flip down. But also, let me find something. This, no, it's too thick. This is going to act as a pocket. So that's lovely. So I'm going to put that over there. Come back over here. You can see what I mean about how, you know, it's chunky and uneven, and that's part of what I love, to be honest. So I'm not quite sure what I'd like to put up here. I feel like it needs a label. Or what about condemned? Yeah, I'm liking that. So I'm gonna tear that so that it all looks, well, condemned really. And then we are gonna and then we just bring it in, squish it up a little bit. It just looks more raggedy. So that's that one. And it's like condemned building 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there you go. So today, day one, I talked about it. We put the book together. We did the flower on the front. Today we started this page. We've got this one finished. Not finished here, but it's a very good start. And then we've made our cabinet card flip stroke pocket, and that's on that page. So there you go. It's coming on quite quickly. So as always, I hope you've had joy and inspiration with me today. Stay safe. I will see you tomorrow for part 3. I'm not sure yet if that'll be the final part. Bye bye for now.